The story opens immediately with brutal action, showing Wolverine in a terrible state. He is lying in the snow, completely disoriented and covered in his own blood. He slowly regains consciousness, groaning in extreme pain. As he tries to figure out what is wrong with his body, he realizes that he has no feeling in his lower half. The visual makes it clear to us before he even fully understands. Wolverine has been physically torn in half, and his legs are nowhere to be seen. The perspective shifts to a flashback that takes place exactly 3.5 minutes prior to the opening scene. Here, we see the terrifying cause of Wolverine's current predicament. The Hulk, in a state of massive, uncontrolled rage, is holding Wolverine. Using his immense strength, the Hulk literally rips Wolverine's body into 2 separate pieces, holding the upper torso in one hand and the legs in the other, while roaring wildly in the snowy environment. We jump back to the present moment. Wolverine, now fully aware that his body has been severed, is dragging his upper half across the frozen ground using only his arms and his claws. He is confused, thinking about how his skeleton is supposed to be completely unbreakable. He dismisses that thought, accepting his new reality. Relying on his heightened animal senses, Wolverine begins to sniff the cold air to locate the rest of his body. His tracking skills pinpoint the exact location of his lower half, and he realizes with extreme frustration that his legs are sitting 4 miles away from his current location. Wolverine continues his grueling crawl up the side of the freezing, jagged mountain. He notes a terrible detail. Whoever threw his legs didn't just throw them 4 miles away, they threw them 4 miles straight up the mountain. Knowing that his mutant healing factor will not magically grow a brand new set of legs for him, he accepts that he has no choice but to physically climb up and retrieve them himself. As he scales the snowy peak, he angrily mutters Nick Fury's name, blaming him for putting him in this miserable situation. The narrative jumps into a flashback, taking us to a sleek modern office where Nick Fury and Wolverine are having a private meeting. Nick Fury offers Wolverine a cigar, trying to be hospitable. Fury then attempts to make small talk by asking Wolverine if he appreciates the large painting hanging on the wall behind them. Wolverine shows no interest in the artwork. Wolverine gets straight to the point, asking Nick Fury if they are just going to sit around discussing art and smoking cigars, or if Fury is finally going to explain the real reason he was summoned to this meeting, stating that small talk is only meant for insignificant people, and he points out that neither he nor Fury fits into that category. Fury challenges Logan to guess why he thinks he was brought to this specific location. Wolverine suspects that there are only 2 reasons Fury would call him in. Either Wolverine is in trouble, or Fury needs him to do something nasty. Wolverine also points out that they are not meeting at their usual headquarters, the Triskelion, which means this is an off-the-books operation. He mentions he didn't even know Nick Fury operated a secret office in Harlem. Nick Fury deflects the tension by offering to introduce Wolverine to former President Clinton, who apparently also works in the same building. Ignoring the offer, Wolverine looks directly at Fury in rage and asks Nick Fury who the girl behind the painting is. Nick Fury reacts with apparent surprise at Wolverine's statement. Wolverine corrects himself after taking another deep breath, stating that his senses actually pick up 2 different women hiding in the ventilation system behind the wall. He compliments the quality of the hidden vents, but notes that they aren't good enough to mask the scent of the women's feminine soap. Wolverine sniffs again and confidently adds that one of the hidden women is currently sucking on a breath mint. With their cover blown, a hidden door opens and 2 women step out into the office. Wolverine greets them casually. Nick Fury introduces the women to Wolverine as Betty Ross and Dr. Jennifer Walters. Fury explains their roles in the organization. Betty Ross is in charge of handling their public relations and publicity, while Dr. Jennifer Walters is one of their top scientific minds, focusing on the research and development of super soldiers. Wolverine processes this information and then bluntly asks who the other one in that department is. The scene transitions to a high-tech laboratory setting. Wolverine is closely examining a sealed glass container that clearly has Bruce Banner's name labeled on the outside. Wolverine realizes he is looking at a finger floating inside the jar. He turns to Nick Fury and questions why he is being shown a jar containing pieces of the Hulk. Before Fury can answer, Betty Ross aggressively interrupts. She points at Wolverine and angrily asks Nick Fury if they are really going to place their trust in someone she considers to be nothing more than an animal. Fury sharply commands Betty to be quiet. He explains to the room that this is a localized problem that they must handle with the utmost secrecy. He expresses deep concern that Professor Xavier will inevitably find out and interfere with their plans. Nick Fury confidently responds that Wolverine is actually the one person on the planet whose mind Professor Xavier is entirely unable to read. Fury asks Wolverine to confirm this fact. Wolverine confirms it in his own unique way, stating that Xavier still doesn't know about the hidden stash of adult magazines he keeps under his bed. Returning to the main issue, Fury explains to Wolverine that he is showing him the jar of Hulk remains because his team only discovered it the previous day. Wolverine is genuinely surprised by this information, reminding Fury that they had previously dropped a nuclear bomb on the Hulk to kill him. Fury solemnly admits that the nuclear strike did happen, but the Hulk turned out to be far more resilient than any of them had anticipated. Wolverine questions Nick Fury about exactly how long the agency has known that Bruce Banner is still alive. We are shown a sequence of panels depicting massive, unexplained disasters around the world, which Fury uses to explain how they tracked him. Fury explains that as these major unnatural events keep occurring, it becomes obvious that something very specific is causing them. When Wolverine asks what is causing these disasters, Fury simply replies with Bruce Banner's name. Betty Ross continues to explain the severity of the situation to Wolverine. She recounts that Bruce Banner is responsible for the deaths of 800 innocent people in New York City. She details how Banner is put on trial for mass murder and is subsequently executed in a very public manner. She emphasizes that S.H.I.E.L.D. is the organization responsible for carrying out that execution. Wolverine listens and gives a slight, mocking tip of his hat toward Betty. Nick Fury then clearly states his mission. He has brought Wolverine there to track down and kill the Hulk. Betty glares and corrects Fury, saying that he needs to find and kill Bruce. Wolverine agrees to take the job. Fury is surprised that he doesn't have to offer him any compensation for this. Wolverine admits that he is taking the assignment simply because Fury mentioned the Hulk is tough, and Wolverine believes the fight will be a lot of fun. Fury then asks what his first step should be to start the hunt. Wolverine tells him that he needs to memorize the Hulk's scent. Wolverine asks where the team originally found the container holding the remains. Nick Fury informs him that the evidence is recovered in Tibet. Jennifer Walters explains the contents of the vial to Wolverine, noting that since the production of the super soldier formula is halted, this liquid represents one of the very last remaining samples. She tells Wolverine that this is the exact substance flowing through Bruce Banner's body. Wolverine takes the vial and deeply inhales the scent of the green fluid to lock it into his memory. The conversation shifts back to Betty Ross. Jennifer casually mentions that she had broken up with Bruce Banner right before his rampage. She justifies Bruce's murderous reaction by comparing it to someone getting overly angry at a waiter over an undercooked steak, completely minimizing the fact that he murdered 800 people because she left him for the actor Freddie Prinze Jr. Jennifer and Logan go to the lab. Jennifer allows Logan to smell the scent of the liquid. She is fascinated by his adamantium bones and offers him to come over in his free time. She says she would like to scan him, and it sounds fun for Logan as well. She also mentions to keep it quick with Banner, as he is a nice man. The story shifts locations entirely, bringing us to a snowy remote village high in the mountains of Tibet. This scene is taking place 4 hours before the opening pages of the comic. The village is rugged and secluded. Inside a dim, crowded local tavern, Wolverine is dressed in civilian winter gear, completely drunk. He approaches a man named Tenzin. He questions him about the strange absence of any women in the entire village. The man nervously replies that he does not speak English. Wolverine, knowing the man is lying, leans in closely and uses his heightened sense of smell to intimidate him and gather information. The story moves forward slightly to 91 minutes ago. Wolverine has dropped his civilian disguise and is now fully geared up in his tactical X-Men uniform. He is standing on a roof somewhere, spying on Tenzin, who has transacted some coins from another person. Wolverine climbs onto the roof of the structure. He takes one final sniff to confirm he has found his target. The timeline moves closer to the present, now 23 minutes ago. Wolverine is following Tenzin to the snowy mountains. He reaches a high, secluded ledge that features an ornate door built into the mountain stone. A massive, sprawling view of the inside of the mountain is revealed. The room is lavishly decorated and packed with dozens of beautiful women. The women are lounging all over the room, wearing very little clothing and relaxing in luxury. Sitting calmly right in the center of this massive group of women is Bruce Banner, currently in his massive green-skinned Hulk form. Suddenly, Wolverine opens the gate and walks toward his target, greeting him casually. Hulk looks at him in pure rage. Without waiting for a response, Wolverine prepares for battle. His adamantium claws violently eject from his knuckles, ready to strike. The issue wraps up right there on that massive cliffhanger, promising an explosive fight in the next chapter. The story throws us straight into a flashback, detailing Bruce Banner's supposed execution. Banner is lying flat on his back on a landing pad, completely helpless and awaiting his fate. As he looks up, his mind is heavily weighed down by extreme guilt. He internally reflects on the fact that he is single-handedly responsible for taking the lives of 815 innocent civilians during his rampage in New York City. The guilt is compounded by the horrific realization that 62 of the victims he killed are young children under the age of 13. Knowing the severity of his actions, Banner is fully aware that his captors are about to drop a massive 1-megaton nuclear bomb directly on top of him to end his life. Looking up into the sky, Iron Man flies down toward the execution site. Banner continues to wallow in his deep depression and self-hatred. He repeatedly reminds himself of the children he murdered, carrying the full weight of the responsibility. In these final moments, he fully accepts that he truly deserves the death penalty for the pain he has caused. The military follows through with the execution, and a colossal fiery nuclear explosion completely engulfs the entire area. The blast is massive, completely wiping out the helipad. However, Banner's internal thoughts immediately reveal that the execution is a failure. He cynically notes his lack of luck, indicating that the bomb does not successfully end his life. Instead of being vaporized, the sheer force of the nuclear blast simply launches the Hulk high up into the Earth's atmosphere. As he plummets back down toward the ocean below, he violently crashes into the open water. The scene shifts to the serene depths of the ocean. The Hulk is shown peacefully swimming deep underwater, surrounded by small fish and a massive whale. In his simplistic, fractured mindset, he thinks about how the humans attempted to blow him up. He feels deeply betrayed, specifically calling Banner stupid for placing his trust in the woman he loves, Betty. The Hulk firmly believes that Betty is responsible for the attempt to blow him up. The Hulk eventually swims all the way to Omaha Beach in Normandy, France. Having exhausted his anger, he transforms back into Bruce Banner and calmly walks out of the ocean surf completely naked. On the beach, he walks right past an older veteran who is busy lecturing a younger man about the historical significance of the location. The veteran complains that in modern times, normal men with guns cannot make a difference anymore because the world's battles are now fought by super soldiers and mutants. Completely ignoring the shocked reactions of the beachgoers, Banner calmly walks past them and offers a polite greeting in French. The narrative jumps forward exactly 1 month. Bruce Banner has relocated to Paris and is currently using the fake identity of David. He is sitting comfortably in a session with an older female therapist. The therapist asks about his emotional state, and Banner claims that he feels good today. She presses him on whether he reached out to his former lover, Betty. Banner admits that he did dial her number, but he panics and hangs up the phone before speaking. The therapist points out that he has been a brilliant and intelligent patient over the last month, perfectly adapting to his new life to the point where he could easily pass for a genuine Parisian local. However, she warns him that he is using his high intelligence to stay in denial. She questions why he stubbornly refuses to allow himself to feel angry at Betty for abandoning him. Banner pushes back, insisting through gritted teeth that he holds absolutely no anger toward Betty. The therapist, highly confident in her professional abilities, refuses to let him hide his emotions. She insists that he is angry and challenges him to confront the real reason he keeps hanging up the phone. She asks if he is terrified of what Betty might say to him. She probes deeper, asking if he is scared that Betty will reveal why she betrayed him, or even worse, if he is terrified that she will insult his masculinity and call him impotent. This intense psychological probing proves to be far too much for Banner to handle. The emotional stress triggers a disastrous transformation. The Hulk bursts violently onto the Parisian streets, shattering the surrounding buildings and crushing nearby cars. In a state of blind, destructive rage, he screams out that his name is not David, fiercely defending his masculinity, and ironically roars at the top of his lungs that he is not angry. The story skips forward another month. Banner is now seen standing at a public payphone, attempting to hide his identity with glasses and a beanie. He is trapped in a miserable cycle of dialing a number and immediately hanging up. Frustrated with his own cowardice, he wonders why he keeps torturing himself this way. He mentally practices what he desperately wants to say to Betty, imagining telling her that he loves her, that he misses her, and revealing the secret that he is still alive. Overcome with anxiety, he forcefully slams the phone down once again, intensely whispering to himself that he survived. Bruce is shown to have relocated once again, this time hiding out and working on a rural farm in County Clare, Ireland under the name Bixby. He is taking a lunch break with some local farmhands. The workers question him about his meal, and Banner casually explains that he is eating a vegan sandwich made with lettuce, tomato, and tofurkey. The farmhands are confused by the concept of fake meat, and Banner explains that it is simply tofu designed to taste like turkey. The locals find it highly amusing that he is a vegan and begin to mock him. One of the men aggressively gets in Banner's face, asking him if he knows what people say about men who refuse to eat real meat, clearly intending to insult his manhood again. Once again, the bullying and stress trigger a massive transformation. The Hulk rampages through the grassy pasture, terrifying the surrounding herd of cows. He angrily screams at the terrified farmhands that his vegan meal is not a laughing matter. He aggressively demands that the men repeat their insults directly to his massive green face. Exactly 1 month later, Banner is found standing outside a red phone booth in London. He is pacing outside, aggressively hyping himself up to finally speak to Betty. He promises himself that he just needs to say anything and insults his own bravery to force himself into making the call. He dials the number, but his heart drops when the line connects and a man's voice answers the phone. Banner freezes in absolute shock, realizing that another man is answering Betty's personal line. This devastating realization pushes his stress levels over the edge once more, and the panel transitions to a massive screaming crowd fleeing in terror, signaling that the Hulk has been unleashed yet again. The setting takes a drastic turn, moving to a harsh, freezing mountain landscape. Banner, heavily bundled in winter gear to survive the severe snowstorm, is hiking up a steep incline alongside a local guide and a pack mule. After a grueling journey, he finally reaches his destination, a massive, ancient wooden door built directly into the stone of the mountain. He knocks loudly, and the heavy door slowly creaks open. Banner is greeted by a very old, bald monk wearing traditional robes. Banner is surprised that the isolated monk speaks perfect English. The monk simply replies that Banner speaks English too, and notes his surprise that Banner managed to find the hidden door and acquire a reliable mule, mentioning that most travelers either turn around or perish in the harsh conditions. Banner states that he has hiked many kilometers up the mountain specifically to find the Panchen Lama. The monk questions his motives, asking why he seeks this specific leader. Banner explains his desperate hope that the Panchen Lama has the power to finally cure his affliction. Banner elaborates on his struggle, explaining that he needs to be cured of his deep-seated anger, believing the Panchen Lama is the wisest man on earth and the only one capable of doing so. The old monk clarifies the misunderstanding, stating that he is not the spiritual leader and that his name is simply Steve. He offers Banner a cup of hot cocoa. Banner sits inside the temple. A boy comes over and hands him the hot cocoa, though he casually remarks that Steve makes the beverage far too hot. Banner looks at the young boy and expresses his surprise, realizing that this child is actually the Panchen Lama he has been searching for. Banner shares his knowledge of Buddhist traditions, explaining that the Panchen Lama is considered the greatest scholar in Buddhism, second only to the Dalai Lama. He notes that when the Panchen Lama dies and is reincarnated into a new body, it is the Dalai Lama's responsibility to find him. The boy confirms that the Dalai Lama did indeed find him. However, the boy challenges Banner's rigid thinking by asking who was responsible for finding the very first Dalai Lama. The boy compares the entire reincarnation cycle to the classic riddle of the chicken and the egg. As they walk down the temple halls, Banner demands to know how the boy actually discovered his identity. The boy reveals a very practical, non-magical truth. The man who provided Banner with the map to the temple simply ran Banner's fingerprints through an international police database and called the temple on a cell phone to warn them of his arrival. The boy wisely advises that in these modern dangerous times, relying on technology is often much better than relying on mystical abilities. The boy leads Banner to a room that overlooks a massive, sprawling hall filled with hundreds of followers. The boy states clearly that he knows exactly why Banner is seeking his help. He explains his understanding of Banner's condition. When Banner becomes angry, he transforms into a massive creature with almost limitless strength and an endless appetite. The boy notes that the creature is usually green, or sometimes gray. Banner agrees that this sudden, uncontrollable change is the entire reason he came to the temple. The boy offers a profound shift in perspective regarding Banner's condition. Banner views the Hulk as an out-of-control, dangerous murderer that he turns into. The boy notes that Banner speaks of the Hulk as if it is an entirely separate entity. He asks Banner to consider looking at his problem from the exact opposite angle. He asks Banner to imagine that he is not a normal human who occasionally transforms into the Hulk, but rather to ask himself, what if the Hulk is the actual core being and the Hulk is the one who changes into Bruce Banner? He brings up the chicken and egg riddle once again to emphasize this deep philosophical puzzle. The timeline shifts one final time, bringing us right back to the cliffhanger where Wolverine comes face to face with Hulk. Wolverine is standing in the doorway of the temple, his dark silhouette framing the entrance. The Hulk, currently lounging and surrounded by women, glares intensely at the intruder. Wolverine offers a casual greeting to Bruce. The Hulk remains surprisingly calm and collected, greeting Wolverine by his first name, Logan, and politely offering him a cup of hot cocoa, completely ignoring the tension. His calmness surprises Wolverine. With a really cool visual montage of all the key players we've seen so far, almost like a movie poster, we see Nick Fury giving the cold, hard order to kill the target. We see Bruce Banner carrying the heavy, crushing guilt of the hundreds of innocent lives he ended in New York. We see the Hulk offering that infamous cup of cocoa. But the most important part of this page is a small text box that changes the entire perspective of the story. The narrative is officially handed over to Wolverine. We are now experiencing the events directly from his point of view. However, there is a catch. The narrator apologizes in advance, warning us that the story is going to be incredibly jumbled and out of order because Wolverine's memory has been severely scrambled and erased recently. We are told to cut him some slack as his brain tries to piece the timeline back together. And immediately, we see just how broken Wolverine's memory currently is. The page throws us into a completely chaotic and confusing action sequence. Wolverine is shown viciously fighting a man wearing a giant panda bear mask. It makes absolutely no sense in the context of the snowy Tibetan mountain. Wolverine's internal monologue kicks in, sounding incredibly frustrated as he wonders where in the world he is supposed to start telling this story. His own brain interrupts him, telling him that this panda fight is the wrong memory entirely, and that he needs to back the story up. We see flashes of other random fights, but Wolverine realizes he is getting off track. He tells his own scrambled mind to keep rewinding the memories until he finds the right starting point. The memory rewinds and drops us right into a gruesome, snowy landscape. The Hulk is standing there, holding Wolverine's freshly severed legs in his massive hands, while Wolverine's upper torso bleeds out in the snow. Wolverine's internal narrator stops the rewind right here, deciding this is a good place to pick up. The Hulk looks down at the severed limbs and presents Wolverine with a morbid, twisted choice. He asks Wolverine to decide which leg he should eat first, the right one or the left one. The Hulk isn't playing around. He gives Wolverine exactly 3 seconds to make his choice, or he will pick a leg for him. As the Hulk slowly counts down, using his senses, Wolverine studies the Hulk's face, smells his scent, and comes to a terrifying realization. The Hulk is absolutely not bluffing. He is entirely serious about eating those legs. With his time up, Wolverine makes his choice and tells the Hulk to eat the left leg. The Hulk pauses, looking down at Wolverine, and asks him if he is absolutely sure about his decision. He aggressively curses at the Hulk, pointing out the sheer absurdity and disrespect of the situation. He yells about how insane it is that a giant monster is threatening to eat his limbs right in front of his face, and then has the audacity to politely ask if he is sure about his menu selection. The Hulk calmly responds that Wolverine is taking the whole cannibalism threat far too personally. Wolverine tries a different tactic, attempting to use basic logic to talk the Hulk out of his meal. He explains that eating the leg is completely pointless due to his mutant healing factor. He promises the Hulk that even if he eats the leg, Wolverine will eventually heal, jam a broken tree branch into his bloody stump, and ruthlessly hunt him down anyway. The Hulk casually replies that Wolverine is just giving him a great argument to go ahead and eat both legs so he can't be followed. The two continue to banter back and forth in the snow. Wolverine questions if they are really just having a casual chat right now. The Hulk admits that he actually enjoys talking to Wolverine. Right in the middle of their bizarre conversation, a massive, deafening boom echoes across the snowy mountain range. The Hulk instantly recognizes the sound. He knows it is a sonic boom caused by a highly advanced S.H.I.E.L.D. stealth jet flying at incredible speeds overhead. Wolverine looks up into the sky, squinting, trying to see if his enhanced vision can spot what the jet just dropped out of its cargo bay. But before we can see what falls from the sky, Wolverine's internal narration interrupts everything again. He curses at himself, realizing he messed up the timeline once more. He realizes he forgot to explain a massive chunk of the story that led up to him being ripped in half. He forces his memory to back up one more time. The memory snaps back to the interior of the ancient Tibetan temple. Wolverine's narrator tells his brain to back up to this specific moment. We see the Hulk delivering a colossally powerful punch directly into Wolverine's face. The sheer kinetic force of the blow sends Wolverine rocketing backward out of the temple doors, launching him through the freezing air and violently smashing him through the thick trunks of the mountain's trees. Wolverine crashes hard into the snowy ground, surrounded by splintered wood. His internal narrator takes a moment to break the fourth wall and speak directly to us. He admits that he is completely sick and tired of trying to keep these fragmented memories in perfect chronological order. He clarifies for the audience that this massive punch out of the temple happens before the Hulk rips his body in half and tosses his legs miles away. He essentially tells us that we are just going to have to piece the rest of the puzzle together ourselves because his brain is hurting too much to organize it perfectly. The story rewinds to a peaceful moment inside the temple, bringing us exactly back to their first face-off. The Hulk is sitting calmly, surrounded by his followers, offering Wolverine a warm cup of cocoa. Wolverine decides that this is the perfect place to officially resume the story. Wolverine looks around the room, taking in the bizarre scene. He bluntly points out the absurdity of the situation to the Hulk. He is a 20-foot-tall, incredibly dangerous monster, hiding out in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by naked women, casually offering a hot beverage to an assassin. Despite how weird it is, Wolverine claims he isn't surprised by it in the slightest. The psychological warfare begins. The Hulk ignores Wolverine's comments and asks directly who sent him on this assassination mission. He tries to guess if it was Nick Fury. Wolverine deflects the question and instead challenges the Hulk's morals. He asks the Hulk if he seriously expects an assassin to care about basic decency and manners. The Hulk calmly replies that he does not expect decency, pointing out that Wolverine is, at his core, nothing more than a wild animal. Wolverine asks if that insult is supposed to hurt his feelings. The Hulk, trying to be intellectually precise, corrects himself, stating that he actually means Wolverine is a mammal, just like him, putting them in the exact same category. Wolverine tells the Hulk that S.H.I.E.L.D. described him as mindless, incredibly strong, and highly dangerous. Wolverine admits that the strong and dangerous parts are accurate, but he is clearly confused by how articulate and intelligent the Hulk is acting. The Hulk states that he consciously decided to stop being angry, suggesting that if Wolverine tries letting go of his rage, he might become smarter as well. Wolverine fires back with a deep psychological counterattack. The Hulk looks into a mirror reflecting both of them and asks Wolverine if agreeing to brutally murder a complete stranger doesn't seem like a pathetic way to compensate for his own deep-seated lack of identity, family, and love. Wolverine notes that Hulk is talking as if they have a deep personal history. The Hulk proves his intelligence by revealing he knows highly classified S.H.I.E.L.D. secrets. He tells Wolverine that he knows exactly what was written in the secret files Nick Fury gave to the Ultimates, detailing the exact protocol to execute Wolverine if Professor Xavier ever stopped protecting him. Wolverine calls the Hulk a liar, refusing to believe him. Trying to hit a raw nerve, Wolverine changes the subject and bluntly asks the Hulk why Betty, his former lover, desperately wants him dead. The mere mention of Betty completely shatters the Hulk's Zen facade. Wolverine sees the opening and relentlessly pushes the button. He makes crude, insulting comments about Betty, implying that she must have completely controlled the Hulk through their intimate relationship. The Hulk's eyes glow with returning rage, and he demands that Wolverine leave the temple immediately. Wolverine continues to twist the knife. Wolverine acts like he is going to comply, turning to walk away, but he stops, looks back over his shoulder, and delivers one final, absolutely devastating taunt. He asks the Hulk for his blessing to take Betty out on a date, explicitly detailing that he wants to take her to dinner, go dancing, and get physically intimate with her. That final taunt is the breaking point. The Hulk completely loses his mind. All the meditation, all the peace, and all the intellect vanish in an instant, replaced by pure, unadulterated rage. He lunges across the room with terrifying speed, tackling Wolverine and smashing him straight down through the solid stone floor of the ancient temple, shattering the ground beneath them into dust and rubble. What follows is a brutally violent fight showing an absolute beatdown. The Hulk unleashes a flurry of devastating, earth-shaking punches directly into Wolverine's face and body. Blood flies everywhere. Wolverine, refusing to die, fights back fiercely, popping his adamantium claws and slashing them violently across the Hulk's face, aiming directly for his eyes. The Hulk, seemingly unbothered by the lacerations, grabs Wolverine and winds up for a massive strike. With a roar of pure anger, he delivers a punch so powerful it launches Wolverine completely out of the temple walls. Wolverine is sent rocketing through the freezing Himalayan air. His internal narration kicks back in, bringing the fractured timeline together. He reminds the audience that we already know what happens after this punch. He lands, gets torn in half, and has to drag himself up the mountain to find his legs. We see the Hulk leap out of the temple, jumping massive distances to pursue his prey. Just as the Hulk is about to land on Wolverine and continue the slaughter, Wolverine's narration casually mentions that this is the exact moment their violent party is crashed by an unexpected guest. Before the Hulk can land his attack, a blinding, incredibly intense beam of light shoots straight down from the sky. It hits the snowy ground right between Wolverine and the Hulk, with a deafening, explosive impact, sending a massive shockwave of snow and dirt into the air. The sheer force of the arrival stops both of them right in their tracks. The dust and snow slowly begin to settle from the impact. As visibility returns, a towering pair of muscular green legs is revealed standing firmly in the crater between the two fighters. Wolverine, completely battered and baffled by the sudden appearance of a new challenger, looks up from the snow and demands to know who this massive newcomer is. Then we see an epic full-body reveal. Standing tall, confident, and incredibly muscular in the freezing snow is none other than She-Hulk. Wearing dark sunglasses and a tactical outfit, she looks down at the chaotic scene. She confidently announces to both Wolverine and the Hulk that she is S.H.I.E.L.D.'s Plan B. The narrative jumps back to a flashback from exactly 1 month ago. Betty Ross is shown in bed, cuddling with a new romantic partner. Suddenly, her cell phone starts ringing. Her boyfriend answers the phone, but the person on the other end refuses to speak, just breathing heavily into the receiver. Betty checks her phone's caller ID and is shocked to see it is an unknown caller dialing from India. Deep down, she immediately realizes that the silent caller is Bruce Banner. We jump forward to another flashback taking place 1 week ago. Betty Ross and Dr. Jennifer Walters are waiting together in Nick Fury's office, and we can see the behind-the-scenes moment during Nick Fury and Wolverine's earlier meeting when Fury asks him for this mission. We are shown what is happening at that time behind the wall. Jennifer casually offers Betty a curiously strong peppermint Altoid. The two women listen in on a conversation happening in the next room. They hear Nick Fury trying to reason with Wolverine, whom Betty refers to as an animal. Wolverine and Fury are discussing art and cigars, and Wolverine aggressively demands to know why he is summoned. Jennifer Walters remarks that she actually finds Wolverine's dangerous edge to be somewhat cute. Betty is highly critical of Jennifer's taste in men, noting cynically that at least her own taste in men does not result in 800 people getting smashed. Betty's anger boils over when Jennifer tells her straight to her face that if she had just remained faithful in her relationship, Nick Fury would not be forced to put an assassination hit out on her ex-boyfriend. Jennifer reveals that she wants to take a sample of the serum off the premises to experiment with it. When Betty asks why she cannot just conduct her experiments at the facility, Jennifer states that she strongly dislikes being watched while she works. Betty presses Jennifer on why she wants to mess with the dangerous serum. Jennifer confidently claims that she believes she can modify the formula to make it work better. Betty argues that making a horribly failed experiment work better is completely pointless. Right on cue, Betty accidentally crunches her mint loudly, completely giving away their secret hiding spot. The timeline shifts again to 3 days ago. Tony Stark and Steve Rogers are engaged in a game of ping pong. Tony taunts him, joking that he is moving slowly because he is not fully thawed out from being frozen in ice. Steve replies that the game is not about speed, but about tenacity. Meanwhile, Betty interrupts them and angrily asks why no one bothers to inform her that Nick Fury has successfully located Bruce Banner. Tony expresses his shock because he genuinely believes Bruce is dead. Betty accuses them of keeping the truth a secret from her. She is absolutely furious that Nick Fury is sending an assassin to kill Bruce. Tony defends Fury's actions, stating that Captain America refuses to get his own hands dirty. Betty passionately insists that Bruce deserves amnesty and a free pass since the nuclear bomb fails to kill him. Tony proposes an alternative solution, suggesting that the government should simply register Bruce and give him a license so they can legally regulate his transformations. But he is joking, and he thinks this is a terrible idea, angrily crushing the ping pong ball with his paddle. Tony tells Betty that she cannot possibly understand the situation because she is a normal human being. He claims she has absolutely no idea what it is like to wield tremendous, uncontrollable power. Tony suggests that they should just step back and let the professionals handle Bruce. We jump to 2 days ago. Dr. Jennifer Walters is alone in her laboratory, preparing a syringe filled with a bright green serum. She carefully injects the mysterious fluid directly into a small laboratory rat. Knowing that the transformation requires a trigger, she decides to induce stress in the animal. She turns on her music player and blasts a loud, aggressive punk rock song to agitate the rat. Betty Ross suddenly bursts into the laboratory, demanding to know what in the hell Jennifer thinks she is doing. Jennifer calmly admits that she is conducting an experiment. Betty looks at the syringe and the rat, realizing that Jennifer has been secretly modifying a wacky batch of the Hulk super soldier serum. Before they can argue further, a massive, terrifying noise erupts from the rat's cage. A massive splash page reveals the horrifying result of the experiment. The tiny laboratory rat violently transforms into a gigantic, terrifying green monster, towering over the two scientists in the lab. Jennifer tells Betty to stop intimidating the massive beast. She is ecstatic and thrilled that her experiment works perfectly. She notes that the rat is completely shredded, huge, and green, but surprisingly chill, exactly as she predicts her modified formula will function. Jennifer pets the giant rat and casually notes that she might just need to tweak the dosage slightly. She proudly claims she has isolated all of the Hulk's physical benefits, with none of the violent rampage. The story shifts to yesterday. Betty Ross approaches Nick Fury while he is practicing at a firing range. Betty bluntly informs Fury that Jennifer Walters is a traitor to the organization. Fury continues to fire his weapon, seemingly unconcerned. Fury accuses Jennifer of being a science geek who is too obsessed with gene splicing to betray them. Betty reveals that she takes matters into her own hands and hacks into Jennifer's personal laptop. By reading her encrypted emails, Betty discovers that Jennifer is planning to sell the modified super soldier serum directly to the Chinese government. Betty informs Fury that the drop is scheduled for tomorrow night. Betty advises Fury to agree to authorize Jennifer to take the serum off-site, but strictly so, his agents can follow her and catch her red-handed during the illegal exchange. Betty intensely demands that Jennifer be stopped immediately, terrified that her actions will create another uncontrollable Hulk. The timeline moves to this morning. Betty is sitting in front of her mirror fixing her hair. She receives a phone call. She is informed that they have intercepted a satellite feed showing Wolverine en route to a remote monastery in Tibet. Realizing that the assassination is happening right now, here comes the twist. She asks for the jet in 15 minutes. The guy asks for Fury's approval. She opens the recording of Fury from yesterday's discussion about Jennifer's betrayal, but she uses Fury's recorded words for her own benefit. We cut to a couple of hours ago in a high-tech SHIELD command center. Nick Fury is monitoring Jennifer Walters' supposed drop with the Chinese buyers. Upon his command, heavily armed operatives swarm the location, violently taking Jennifer down to the ground and securing her envelope. Fury approaches her, demanding an explanation for her treasonous actions. Fury opens the secured envelope, expecting to find evidence of the serum sale. Instead, he is baffled to find a script for a new Star Trek movie. Jennifer laughs at him from the ground, explaining that she bought the script from a bootlegger because the movie does not release for a month. She vehemently denies selling the super soldier serum because Betty continuously denies her access to the serum after she successfully fixes the formula. Fury is furious and asks his soldiers to get Betty Ross to him right now. The story finally catches up to right now. Betty is flying high in the sky aboard a SHIELD stealth jet. The pilot suddenly receives direct orders from Commander Fury to immediately restrain Betty and turn the jet around. Armed guards approach Betty, demanding she get down on the ground. Knowing she is out of time, Betty pulls out a hidden syringe and forcefully injects herself right in the leg. The modified serum hits her bloodstream instantly, and Betty's body undergoes a massive, agonizing physical transformation. Her muscles rapidly expand, her skin turns a bright shade of green, and she grows incredibly tall, violently tearing through her normal clothes. Betty, now fully transformed into a powerful She-Hulk, smiles confidently at the terrified guards. She grabs a communications headset and demands to Fury that he delivers a message to Tony, telling him she finally understands exactly what it is like to wield tremendous power. Down in the command center, Fury furiously screams at his men to shoot her immediately. The guards open fire inside the cockpit, but Betty leaps out into the freezing sky. Betty falls from the sky and lands with a massive impact, right between Wolverine and Bruce Banner on the snowy Tibetan mountain. This perfectly catches us up to the cliffhanger from the previous scenes. Bruce, currently in his Hulk form, looks confused and asks why she has come. Betty states that she is Plan B and comes to rescue him. Bruce defensively points out that the Hulk does not need rescuing. A single emotional tear forms in Bruce's giant green eye, while he says, "Betty breaks Hulk's heart." Bruce's face contorts from sadness into absolute unbridled rage. He furiously screams that now the Hulk is going to physically break Betty. The comic cuts to black on this incredible cliffhanger, setting up a brutal showdown. The story opens in a very bizarre way, showing Wolverine completely naked and sitting peacefully in a bamboo field. A large panda bear casually approaches him, clears its throat, and offers a friendly greeting. Wolverine is highly confused and questions where he is. The panda calmly explains that Wolverine is currently dreaming. The bear then introduces itself as Wolverine's personal spirit animal. Wolverine bursts into laughter, assuming there has been a massive mix-up. He insists that Wolverine do not care about having spirit animals, but if he did, his would definitely be a fierce Wolverine. The panda also adds that it actually represents Wolverine's gentler, cuddly side that desperately needs affection. Wolverine firmly denies having a cuddly side. He issues a dark warning, telling the panda that he will not like him when he gets angry, and asks him to take his words back. In response, the panda delivers a massive, violent punch directly to Wolverine's face. Both of them start a massive one-on-one fight. The bear pins him down and insists that Wolverine must listen to a very important message. The panda strictly warns him to never tell anyone the truth about what happened between the Hulk and the girl. As Wolverine expresses confusion, the panda reveals that the people who decapitated him must not know about Bruce and the girl. Wolverine's eyes suddenly snap open as he wakes up from the dream. Nick Fury is standing there to greet him. Wolverine immediately asks about his location. Fury reveals they are inside the Triskelion prison compound. Wolverine then demands to know where the rest of his body is. We see that Wolverine's severed head is sitting alone on a laboratory table. Fury explains that Wolverine's body is being kept in an undisclosed location. Wolverine politely asks for his body back, but Fury firmly refuses. Wolverine questions how Fury knows decapitation would not be fatal to him. Fury boasts that his organization knows absolutely everything there is to know about Wolverine's biology. Fury reveals that Wolverine's lungs are located 7 floors away and that he is currently absorbing oxygen directly through his skin. Fury explains that they test Wolverine's limits by placing his head in a total vacuum. Without oxygen, his brain simply enters a stasis mode to keep him alive. This leads Fury to conclude that Wolverine's mutation is purely about survival, not just simple healing. Wolverine casually asks Fury to scratch an itch on his nose. Fury offers a deal, promising to reattach Wolverine's head to his body if he reveals the events that take place in Tibet. Wolverine provides a half story, claiming the Hulk throws him through a wall, rips him in half during a fight, and then everything completely fades to black. Fury knows he is lying and brings up the fact that Betty Ross shows up at the location. Wolverine stubbornly sticks to his story, insisting he is unconscious. Fury admits that he personally orders a nuclear strike on Banner's location because he knows exactly where the target is. Wolverine recalls the intense, warm heat from the blast. Fury aggressively demands to know the exact words exchanged between the Hulk and Betty right before the explosion. Wolverine continues to refuse, repeating that he blacks out and hears nothing. We see the flashback now, the brutal, chaotic fight between Betty as She-Hulk and Bruce as the Hulk. The Hulk absolutely dominates the physical battle, beating Betty down into the ground. Wolverine, still missing his lower half, is shown watching the fight from a distance. He notes internally that due to the chaos, he cannot actually tell if the two giant monsters are fighting or being physically intimate. Wolverine remembers seeing the Hulk smile at Betty just as they all realize the nuclear missile is approaching. As the bomb falls, the Hulk approaches it as if he will bite it in half. Betty yells that she still loves him, and the Hulk replies to her right before the devastating explosion hits. The story jumps back to the present day. Wolverine's body has finally been completely reassembled, and he is locked inside a brick holding cell. He notices he is wearing heavy, restrictive mitts on his hands. Using his heightened sense of smell, he detects that he is not alone in the room. The 4th part of the chapter begins, noting that Wolverine finds a valuable ally inside his cell coming out of the toilet. The other prisoner is revealed to be Forge, a mutant inventor who actually designs the prison's security systems and Wolverine's restraints. Wolverine asks Forge for a personal favor, requesting him to use his specialized tuning fork to vibrate and disable the restraints so they can escape. The escape is successful, and the 2 mutants emerge from a street manhole in Greenwich Village. Forge taunts him by reminding him of the part where he thanks him for helping him escape. Forge asks Wolverine what he needs him to do next. A few hours pass, and they arrive at one of Forge's secret, undiscovered laboratories. Forge is shown constructing a device for Wolverine, and asks if the intention is to use the item to kill someone. Wolverine confirms that this is exactly the plan. Forge explains the mechanics of the custom collars he just builds. The devices use gravity and inertia to create a massive opposing force capable of withstanding 1 billion tons of pressure. Forge proudly states that unless the target has the strength to literally lift the moon, they will not be able to break the collar. Wolverine is satisfied with the invention and instructs Forge to build a second collar, specifically asking for a ladies' model. Forge asks Wolverine where he is planning to go. Wolverine flashes back to the immediate aftermath of the nuclear explosion, remembering the Hulk leaping away into the sky. The Hulk yells down to She-Hulk, asking her to meet him in Casablanca. Wolverine officially ignores the panda's earlier warning, ultimately sealing his own fate. Wolverine tells Forge that his next destination is Casablanca. The perspective then shifts to reveal Nick Fury watching Wolverine and Forge through a hidden surveillance monitor. Fury simply says he has caught him. We cut to a busy airport terminal. Wolverine is walking through the crowd, wearing a cowboy hat and an eye patch as a makeshift disguise. He internally addresses a question he frequently gets. How does a guy with a metal skeleton get through airport security? Wolverine, with a grenade in his hand, gives it to a random passenger, intentionally triggering the metal detector and getting him swarmed by airport security guards. As the guards tackle that passenger, Wolverine reveals that the authorities will eventually realize it is just made out of soap and release him. He uses this massive distraction to his advantage. He explains that his real method of travel does not involve the airport at all. He simply uses a highly advanced, stolen stealth jet he has been using until now. The timeline jumps back to yesterday in Hong Kong. Betty, with long red hair, steps out of the shower, singing a song to herself. Suddenly, her towel drops after she sees Wolverine, who emerges from the shadows of her hotel room. Wolverine asks her to put the towel on. He places that heavy metal collar on the table and instructs her to put it on her neck. He tries to play dumb by calling the collar a necklace. Betty refuses to wear the collar, asking Wolverine what he would do if she does not wear it. But Wolverine threatens to brutally murder her boyfriend if she refuses to comply. Betty points out that if Wolverine actually knows where Bruce is, he would not be wasting time threatening her. Wolverine casually reveals that he knows Bruce is taking a commercial flight to Casablanca the very next morning. He mocks their plan to split up after the incident in Tibet to avoid Nick Fury's detection. Betty begs to know why Wolverine is still determined to murder Bruce, insisting that Bruce is not hurting anyone and just wants a little peace. Wolverine coldly dismisses her pleas. The situation escalates instantly as Betty transforms into her massive, green, superpowered form. In a sudden burst of rage, she violently attacks Logan, crashing through the room's furniture and smashing him forcefully down into the floorboards. She screams at him, furious that he tracks her down and interrupts her life, telling him he never should have come there. As she pins him down and threatens to end him, Logan reacts quickly by unleashing his metal claws directly into her torso. With his claws embedded deep inside Betty's body, Logan takes total tactical control of the violent situation. He uses this extreme physical pain to command her full attention. Logan then offers her a strict deal. He promises that he will spare her life, allow her to revert to her human form, and even call for medical help on his way out, but only if she puts on the power-dampening collar. He follows this with a brutal final warning, stating that if she tries to warn Bruce or interfere with his mission in any way, he will slaughter her into a coleslaw without a second thought while calling her a green bitch. Thoroughly defeated and bleeding, Betty transforms back into her fragile human state, lying helplessly on the rubble of the apartment. He tells her that she should have just stayed out of the conflict entirely and admits that he does not actually enjoy inflicting pain on women. Betty begs Logan to spare Bruce's life, confessing her deep and enduring love for him. Logan coldly rejects her emotional plea, showing no sympathy for her desperate situation. The narrative moves forward to the present day, exactly 1 day after the violent Hong Kong incident. We are aboard Atlantic Air Flight 747 high in the sky. We see Bruce seated comfortably in the passenger cabin. A flight attendant approaches him, offering a pair of headphones for the in-flight entertainment system. Bruce politely declines the offer. The attendant then reveals his true identity. It is actually Wolverine, who forcefully puts the metal collar on Bruce's neck. The two men have a remarkably quiet conversation given their extremely violent history. Bruce is surprised that Logan manages to find him. Bruce asks about Betty's well-being, and Logan assures him she is completely fine, though Bruce points out the massive irony of Logan expressing care after being so vicious with her previously. The tension in the cabin rises as Bruce directly confronts Logan, confirming that Logan is still fully intending to execute him right there on the crowded commercial flight. But Logan denies that claim and mentions that Banner will kill him by himself. Bruce questions why Logan does not just use a more direct, lethal method to end their conflict right now. Logan responds with a surprising moral stance, stating that he does not actually have a personal vendetta against Bruce. Instead, he wants Bruce to meet his end simply in his Hulk form, the monster who rips his body apart and would have eaten his legs if the nuke had not dropped. Bruce firmly states that he will not transform into his monstrous alter ego, because he has finally learned how to completely control his emotions and the beast inside. Logan challenges this claim, insisting that Bruce is inherently a bad person and a destructive force no matter what. Bruce argues passionately that he is actually a good person and does not deserve to be hunted down like an animal. The debate gets incredibly heated, with Bruce aggressively demanding that Logan remove the restrictive collar from his neck immediately. Logan flatly refuses to comply with the demand. Realizing that words will no longer work, Bruce suddenly unbuckles his seatbelt and jumps out of the plane. In a shocking and desperate tactical move, Logan also throws himself out of the emergency exit door of the airplane. Utter chaos erupts inside the cabin as the passengers panic from the sudden and explosive depressurization. Logan and Bruce are now completely airborne, separated from the safety of the plane and falling fast. The two men are in a terrifying, uncontrolled freefall, plunging toward the earth at terminal velocity. Logan manages to grab hold of Bruce securely in the air. While hurtling downward, Logan extends his sharp metal claws, holding them dangerously close to Bruce's face as they drop through the open sky. As they plummet toward the ground, a high-stakes psychological battle takes place. Logan screams desperately at Bruce to trigger his transformation, knowing it is the absolute only way either of them can survive the impending impact. Bruce stubbornly refuses to change, stating that he will simply let them both die. Bruce calmly reasons that the collar on Logan will strangle him upon impact, and Bruce himself will perish as a human, which he claims is infinitely better than ever turning into a monster again. Logan is furious, calling Bruce's bluff and accusing him of selfishly choosing suicide rather than fighting for survival. Bruce maintains his position, stating that he will not change unless Logan takes the collar off, trapping Logan in an extreme ethical dilemma with only seconds left to make a choice. Logan realizes that Bruce is absolutely not going to break his resolve. Deciding to rely on his primal survival instincts rather than continue the debate, Logan uses his claws to slice the power-dampening collar right off Bruce's neck. With the restriction finally gone and the ground rapidly approaching them, Logan yells at Bruce to finally transform and save their lives. The scene suddenly transitions to a wide shot of a massive, desolate desert landscape. Without warning, an enormous explosion rocks the quiet area, sending a massive plume of dust and debris high into the air, clearly showing the devastating force of their impact with the earth. A group of armed men riding on horseback cautiously arrives at the edge of the newly formed smoking crater. Nick Fury steps forward from the settling dust, coolly welcoming the two combatants back to solid ground. Nick Fury stands confidently before them. Logan, despite his injuries, stands firm as Fury jokes that Logan has copied his style by wearing an eye patch. Fury claims he is not here to hurt either of them right now. The Hulk directly addresses Fury, aggressively demanding to know what the intelligence director wants from them after all this unnecessary chaos. Fury calmly lays out his terms to the giant. He tells the Hulk that he is completely free to walk away right now and live his life in peace. However, Fury reveals a massive manipulative catch. His organization currently has Betty Ross locked up tightly in a secure facility. Fury explains that they are conducting intense scientific tests on her in an effort to reverse her recent mutation. Fury uses this crucial information as extreme leverage, making it incredibly clear that while the Hulk might technically be free, the woman he loves is completely under S.H.I.E.L.D.'s control. The Hulk is incredibly enraged by this blatant manipulation, but quickly realizes he has absolutely no other choice. Fury tells him that not the Hulk, but the human inside him will work for him to save the woman he loves. Fury then turns his attention to Logan, strictly warning him that his recent actions have put him on a very dangerous watch list. With the deal struck, Fury and his men mount their horses and ride away, leaving the mutant and the monster completely alone in the vast desert to process the new reality of their difficult situation. The final page shows Logan and the Hulk standing together, peacefully watching a beautiful sunset over the quiet desert. The intense animosity between them seems to have finally faded into a strange, quiet, mutual understanding. Logan asks the Hulk if he can give him a ride to the nearest town since he is still injured. They exchange some dark humor about their past violent encounters, specifically referencing the time the Hulk physically tears Logan in half in the mountains. The story concludes with these two indestructible beings walking off into the distance together, their epic conflict finally resolved.